Alright, so I've been having a problem with my charging setup for the battery that powers my cooler. I guess I should start with that. So this is the cord that goes to the cigarette lighter. Everything is good back here. I'm just having a connection issue, so if you care, it's 30 amp fuse here. This lets me monitor the amperage going in through the the charger, which is the DC to DC converter here. There's a voltage, wattage, ampage readout right there, and I've got two 10 amp sub fuses. One is a fuse for my cigarette plug Octopus, and the other 10 amp fuse is dedicated to the inverter. The inverter has fuses built in, but these are resettable, so I don't have to replace the fuse, and hopefully the resettable fuse will pop before the fusible link pops, and I gotta replace that. So anyway, the issue, as far as I have been able to tell, and I think I'm just gonna get rid of this, is it's, you know, nice to have the zip ties on here sometimes, but other times it just makes it so you can't really see what's going on. So I think this has outlived its useful life, and we're gonna open this up so we can see these butt connectors and just make sure that nothing is kind of pulling out or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure that the real issue is the cigarette plug, which I bought a 5-pack, but I moved to Colorado, so all that stuff is still in New Hampshire. I don't have everything out here, sadly. So hopefully we can jury rig this thing and get it back in tip-top fighting condition, because I just went camping, and by the end of the trip my battery was down to the minimum voltage that I want to see. So for an AGM battery, 13 volts is 100%, and you get to 12 and you've dissipated half of the energy stored in the battery. So I was looking at 12 point something at the end of the trip, dropping down into the 11s while the refrigerator was on. I do see, yeah, there's some heat. Yep, so it is the butt connector. You can see the burnt. So this is not sufficient. Let's see what melted here. Apparently we are drawing a F-load of juice. Let's see. Everything's stuck. I prefer, yeah, well, there it went. Well, that explains why I'm not getting any charge. It's not the actual cigarette plug. It is definitely an issue with that butt splice, clearly. So the spring was off to the side, but everything looks good now in this thing. So I'm gonna say that we'll just tighten this down and leave it. Gotta love a good Leatherman. I've had this, my dad bought me this when I was 13, and I've carried it for a great many jobs at this point, so highly recommend, especially the smaller ones. The big Leatherman, yeah, it's great, but that's like, you can wear that in a pair of dress pants, and and it's not like heavy and bulging out of your pocket everywhere. Okay, well, I really wanted to try to salvage this, but it does not appear to be in the cards. So I think we're going to redo both. I just have to get this flattened out. Uh-oh. Alright, we're just gonna, let me just make sure. I believe I have new butt connectors, but let me just make sure before I completely destroy that. Just, you know, don't mind the mess. I just got out here with all this extra stuff, and I think that one of these containers is butt connectors. I hope. I'm going to be very... Oh, here we go. Bang. $14s. Yep, that should be sufficient. And then, what did I do with my crimpers? There. Boom. So we get this all sorted out. Well, I'm glad that this was an easier fix. I was coming back from camping this weekend and my charger gave out, so I was really kind of concerned that because I found this stack up in here that, okay, something's not still right with that. We're gonna have to revisit that. The spring, something's, yeah. Okay, we are gonna open that back up, but clearly, you know, signs of heat, which you really don't want to see. That was arcing for a little while until the connection gave out completely. So good thing that we caught it when we did, and we can get everything going again pretty easily. Yes, negative was, yeah, the red stripe is positive. Let's just trim this back just a little bit. Actually, what am I doing? I'll just use the stripper. Jacket's well inside there, that's what you want to see, because I don't think I'm going to tape this again. It just kind of looks crappy. So you just want to make sure that the jacketing is well inside when you're making sure that it's not going to have any shorting issues. Oh wow. Okay. So the reason I struggled with that so much is because I do not want to lose any wire length. I don't have any spare wire, so I lost the tip, but I can just restrip. I just wanted to save as much as I could, so might have looked like a waste of time, but there was a reason for it. Actually, this is long enough. I don't know why that pulled out. I'm just going to crimp it better. Here we go. This is what we're looking for right here. Got a whole pack of them. These are going in the truck. Like little wiring ties. So I changed my mind. I am going to tape up the positive side. Yep, I want some sort of insulation between the two. because if your crimper punches a hole in this blue plastic when you're crimping it, and I'm gonna have to crimp it pretty hard because it pulled out on me that time. Okay. Okay. Yep, it's fully seated. The wires are meeting and colliding in the middle because I can't even get that all the way seated. So I don't need to strip that back anymore. There we go. And I'm actually gonna do a vice grip crimp as well. So we did lose just a little bit, which sucks because we need every inch that we can get, but we can survive. Tug test. I didn't see any movement on either end, and now that's, I mean, honestly, the red one's just going to sit there, so the negative is going to be the only thing getting tugged on at this point. So, I mean, I said I wasn't going to do this, but I'm going to put it back the way it was. So we'll tape this all up. So if you guys want to build something like this, just leave some comments down below, and I can give you the basics. Outside of the battery, it's probably less than $100 worth of stuff. And then if you guys have used a lot of electrical tape, you know that the glue in it gives out after a while, and then it just becomes a real sticky, nasty mess. So what I like to do is I finish the end of my tape with a wire tie, and that way you don't start having electrical tape unraveling in your wiring jobs. So highly recommend. And where we wrapped up and we wrapped back, if you just wrap in one direction, you got to do both ends. I usually do both ends just because I prefer to finish my work that way. It kind of attaches the tape and makes it so that some of the pulling force is going to be exerted on the surface of the tape instead of just being held together by the wire. So it just makes a more secure splice, especially where this is in the truck. It's going to be moved around, etc., etc. I just like to give it the best chance at surviving. And I think we're just going to stretch the spring to fix the issue with the. So this is supposed to be spring loaded, but as you can see, it's not functioning properly. So we're gonna get the spring out, use the 2 pairs of needle nose pliers. I got one there, and I got one in the toolbox here. Alright, I got this little knob that goes in there. Then we get our fuse, 10 amp. Pretty sure. I think it's a 10 amp fuse. It's not marked well. And then let's see what's going on. Oh, as usual, the spring is all fucked up down there. So I think we are going to do the stupid little fix that I didn't think that I was going to bother with. The spring is kind of stuck down there. So I guess I'm going to have to go get a pick. Because now, should have done this while I had it out disconnected, but you know, that would have made too much sense. Oh boy. Great. Well, we got it out. I did not get it out under ideal circumstances. Okay, well, obviously I lost the spring, but through the magic of reviewing video, I watched it back and saw where the likely places it would have dropped, and then came out here and looked right down in there, and there it is. So thank God. I probably never would have found this today if it wasn't for the video. So coming in clutch. Okay, so as you can see, this spring is pretty deformed. It's been through the ringer. couple times, but we are going to do some surgery to it and hopefully get it back into form. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the spring and sorry, hold on. So part of what keeps happening is the spring keeps slipping off to either side, and there's no real good way to guide the spring. If you put this down here, then you got all this space around the outside, and I tried putting the spring at the bottom. That didn't work that well either. Great. I just cannot stop winning today. Okay, so we broke the spring. If this will fit, I'm going to make it so it gets stuck less easily, and then I'll do the second half of the spring on the top, and if we can make that work, then that is what we are going to proceed with. So we've got that down there. We've got our fuse sitting nicely on that spring. And then now we're going to stretch the second piece of spring. Try to get so you want the spring crowns to be flat, so that the ends of the pieces that are sitting on top of it have a flat piece to rest on. If they're not flat, then your spring is going to be twisted and you're going to have a bad time. So that's not perfect, but somewhat good. that fits in there. And then just a matter of getting okay. Feels like it's gonna work. Yep. Should be no problem. So that piece of tinfoil I put in is on that bottom spring, but it's trapped behind the fuse, and I didn't put a piece up here just in case that somehow drifted down. Neither piece is big enough to bridge the gap of the glass on the fusible link. And there's also a bunch of other fuses. Fuse built in here, 30 amp fuse on the box back there. We've got truck fuses that will blow. So we're well covered with fuses. There should, in fact, I could, if I really wanted to, probably turn this into a straight plug, but if the fuse works, I feel like we should leave it and not be doing any crazy dumb stuff. So yep, we got 13.92, and that is what it's supposed to be putting out, 13.98, but good enough. And right now the battery tender is charging it. We're at 12.42. The truck charges it a lot faster than that little trickle charger, but we're gonna just let the trickle charger do its work. I actually found this while I was hiking. It's great, waterproof, but it's 800 milliamp, so 0.8 amps. Doesn't charge very fast, but the truck's gonna be sitting here for a couple days probably, so we'll just let it do its thing. Try to keep everything under the truck, so if we do have some sort of flash rainstorm, at least it doesn't rain directly on the plug, even though I'm sure it will get a little bit wet. Sorry about that dinging. So I think we are ready to go camping again and keep our things charged. Try not to lose any of these pieces so I don't have to go watch another video just to find the parts. And this is just a cheap Harbor Freight meter, but it literally only does, just tells me how many amps the DC to DC converter box is putting out, so I can see what my actual charge is, because the rest of the system shows voltage, current, energy, and power. However, these are not clean numbers that are just charge. You got a load on it like this refrigerator. It's gonna get confused and start offsetting charge and load, and nice, 9 volt. I think I have one. All right, we got our new battery. Just slam it in there and we are good to go. Finally. Okay, common 10 amp fuse connection. That's our current. And then five amps, 5.5. Yep, looks good. All right, finally done with that.